and accommodation in respect of Gaelscoil Eiscir Riada in Lucan, County Dublin. Deputy Tuffy, you have 5 minutes.
Thanks, Chairman. I want to raise the need for permanent accommodation for Gaelscoil Eiscir Riada, Lucan in Dublin Midwest constituency. And as the Minister of State, and I hope the Minister for Education and Science as well, should be aware, the school opened and received formal recognition from the Department of Education in 2005, and it is currently located on a site owned by County Dublin VC. It's in prefabs on that site that are rented from the VC, and that particular site has been identified as a possible site, or as a suitable site for the school, the permanent school building, and in fact was surveyed as regards its feasibility or its suitability for a two-stream primary school, and that survey report is actually with the Department of Education since August 2007, and the parents, teachers and pupils and the Board of Management of the school are very concerned about the lack of progress since that survey was forwarded to the department. Certainly from inquiries they've made, there hasn't been any discussions between the department and the VC about progressing the development of the site. As I said, I would reiterate again, there is a site available for the school. The school is in a very very rapidly developing area. 4 new primary schools opened subsequent to the opening of Gaelscoil Eiscir Riada in 2006-2007. 2 of those were, to my knowledge, emergency schools. 3 of the schools have permanent accommodation, and 1 of those 4 schools is in temporary accommodation. Now, in relation to Gaelscoil Eiscir Riada, there's huge waiting lists for the schools for the future, right up to 2013 at least, and they are already running out of space. They anticipate that they won't be able to take new intake in 2010 unless something is done in relation to permanent accommodation, that they just don't have the space in the school. And I was up there recently and I can confirm that. I was, visited the school and had a look around the school building. And if the pupils can't go to Gaelscoil Eiscir Riada that would have gone there, from 2010 onwards, there's going to be even more pressure on the department to open further emergency school buildings. Whereas if they actually provide the permanent accommodation for Gaelscoil Eiscir Riada, that will help solve the demand for future school places in Lucan. The conditions currently for pupils and teachers is not satisfactory. The school accommodation by next September 2009 will be used up to the maximum, and what that will mean is that there will only be school rooms in the school. There won't be extra rooms, like there won't be assembly halls or anything like that. Prefabs, as the Minister will know, are difficult and they're costly to run. They're actually very energy inefficient, and I mean that's a very important point from the point of view. The fact is the government has commitments to have energy efficient school buildings, and there's the whole issue about saving energy, reducing costs that way. There's another issue as well about lack of support for Gaelscoil in the country, despite government commitments to support the Irish language. I would give an example that in relation to the patron body of Gaelscoil, the Foras Patrunica Acta, they have only got, they're set up 15 years ago, they only get 15,000. They only got 50,000 from the department to run the organisation last year or this year. However, Educate Together, for example, that has less schools, got 140,000, and the CPSMA got considerably more also. And apparently, I understand that more than half of Gaelscoil are in temporary accommodation, and many of them, I know, for example, in Gaelscoil Camogue and Clondalkin, that's for about 14 years or so. Labour has put the case that, especially in the economic times that we're in at the moment, now's the time to actually invest in permanent school buildings, build the badly needed primary school buildings like the one that's needed for Gaelscoil Eiscir Riada. In doing that way, you can put people in jobs that would otherwise be on the dole and costing the state in that way. these buildings are an investment for the future. They're more energy efficient, as I've said. And in this day and age, it's wrong to have primary school children in the type of conditions that they're in. You know, in fact, it's the primary sector really that's falling behind in terms of, you know, the quality of the accommodation. Although there's been, you know, I mean, I do agree, I do accept that the department has been much faster in building some of the new primary schools in recent years. There's many primary schools that have been left behind in the dark ages in a way that, you know, second level students haven't been in terms of the accommodation. And, you know, in a country that's supposedly prides itself on, you know, how it treats its children, you know, it just is not on the way we're dealing. And then there's the money.
You should now conclude.
Yeah, the money, as I said, you know, money unspent on private rented or on rented prefabs is money wasted. Money invested in permanent school buildings is an investment in the future. And most of all, the school would like to know where it stands.
Thank you very much, Minister.